Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about what I learned from DailyVee 204. The big takeaway is that my words are getting ahead of my actions, so I need to start shutting up and doing a little more. Alright, today is April 12th. It is Wednesday, and so it's been interesting. I don't know if I will actually do the daily vlog because I've been thinking about it and not sure if that's the way to go. But basically, I want to talk about what I watched on the DailyVee. DailyVee 204, basically. The big line from that was a lot of people's mouths are going further than their actions. And I'm like, And recently, I got a message from Brad on one of my YouTube comments, and we kind of went back and forth on one of the YouTube videos. We kind of went back and forth about the subject because I was talking about free work and that everyone needs to do free work. And talking about that, I realized, I haven't been communicating well that everyone has their own goal, right? And based on their own goal, if they have different goals, different pieces of advice are going to mean something different, right? So me telling people that they need to do free work isn't necessarily the right message to everyone, because people can be doing work for themselves. For instance, they don't need to be doing free work for others. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. I totally agree with that. And I was like, I really haven't said well that this is my journey and this is what someone that's trying to do what I'm trying to do needs to do. So yes, if you're an artist that's trying to get into the gaming industry or something, and or trying to, let's say you're a graphic designer and you're trying to get into the esports business or something like that, right? There's a lot of people that have skills in Adobe, Photoshop, whatever else, and you need to put in a lot of effort. You need to prove something additional to everyone else. And part of that is doing your own work, doing your own brand on the side, and part of that is like making networks and talking to people and doing free work for people, because that's how you get exposure and that's how you show that like I can work for someone, right? And I can meet deadlines, deliver products and stuff like that. But for someone that, it's their hobby, they're not trying to make money off of it and they're just doing it, like that does not apply to them at all. And I have not done a good job at that. And then thinking about this a little more and then watching the DailyVee, I was like, crap, I really think that Gary does a really awesome, he's a good motivational, inspirational speaker. And it's funny because that's not what he wanted to do at first. But now he's become that, a keynote speaker and stuff like that. And I've started to like emulate it a little bit. And the big thing is that he always tells people is that you don't hear anything from me in this year to this year, because he wasn't telling people how to do things because he was learning. It wasn't until he accomplished something that he was able to speak and tell people what he did and what other people should or most likely should do, right? And I am getting into the dangerous spot where I'm like, I'm starting to do things, I'm seeing success, and now everyone listen to me. And that's not what I should not be doing that. Absolutely should not be doing that, because I am not in a place where I can say that. I cannot tell people that, hey, this is how you make it in esports. This is how you make it, because I'm learning a lot from others, which is good, but I have not done it yet. I am in the process of doing it. Now, if I make a podcast, like if Weldon's podcast, which has been successful, but 8,000 views in the 8,000 listens or downloads or whatever for the first month, like that is a point of success that I should celebrate. But it's also, I don't think it's like I've made it. That's not the case. Like if you look at Thorin stuff, for example, who is like a huge name in esports, like in esports in general, I think CSGO and League of Legends, he gets well over 60,000 views on videos that are like super long and are raw and unedited or minimal editing. So those are the kind of numbers I need to probably say to be like, hey, I've made it, kind of, or another checkpoint. But I mean, I also don't want to discredit that like 8,000 the metrics that I've hit, like, I'm very happy with it. It's great. I need to be grateful for that, and that's a good motivational boost. But there's no way I can say that I know and I can speak on how to do things. So I want to make sure that people understand and also call myself out on it, that I am a person that is doing stuff. I'm doing more than a lot of people. I'm doing less than a lot of people. I've achieved more than a lot of people, and I've achieved less than a lot of people. But what I'm doing right now is I'm documenting my journey. And I got to keep that in mind. I can't get like big-headed in this. And I'm glad that I've kind of hit this realization with the DailyVee, where he talks about, hey, a lot of people's mouths are ahead of their actions. And I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm starting to get there. I don't think I've went too far, but there's been a few times where I'm like talking a little too confidently about things. Instead, I need to be sharing, like, this is what I'm doing. This is the success I've had. This is what I've learned. Hopefully you can learn from my experiences and mistakes, or at least it's entertaining for you if you guys are interested in my journey. Who knows, you might be listening to this like 2 years from now, like, oh, Sam like made it, and like, what did he do? And that would be like, this thing would be amazing if I started documenting this 2 years before I actually accomplished something huge, right? So that's a big thing I wanted to talk about. I have put my mouth way in front of my actions, and I need to dial it back. And Brad, to you specifically, thanks for being transparent. I know it wasn't like you attacking me or anything, and you dealt with it very professionally and very kindly, and I know you're like rooting for me. But yeah, it's like, I'm glad I had that realization before it got a little too far, because I'm sure if I started doing that, one, either I'm attracting people that with a false, like, I'm tricking people into listening to my advice, because I'm giving advice on stuff that I have some knowledge or a distorted knowledge on. Hopefully I can keep the voice of this whole journey more like, this is what I'm doing. Maybe 5 years from now I can be like, this is wrong, this is right, and I can start really saying things with authority. But right now, no. I can tell you how to start a podcast. I can tell you how to interact with fans and what I've done. But I mean, even 3 years of that experience, that's limited. I can tell you on how I did things, or how, in my opinion, on those. But right now, I gotta stay a little more humble and realize that I am documenting my journey, and I want to document my journey, and hopefully one day I can talk very opinionated or very strongly about how to do things and really, really help you guys. Right now, this is a journey. Hopefully you guys are here to keep me accountable, because I have to tell you guys what I'm doing, and this doesn't die off like in 6 weeks, and then you guys can start all like laughing at me and telling me that I'm a failure. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, this is for me, and this is for hopefully to help people, encourage people to do what they're doing, and to really just show you what it's like to put in a little bit of grind. Because let me talk about my grind. My grind is a 10, probably like a my grind is probably like a 14 to 24 hour a week grind. That's what I put in, because I wake up early before my real life work. I shouldn't say real life work, but my traditional job. And I work for an hour to 2.5 hours. And then I come home, I spend time with my wife, and some nights, if I'm behind, I work on that stuff after she falls asleep. Usually I try to go to bed with her so I can wake up early and be like, have enough energy to do my stuff in the morning, or have enough rest to be able to wake up in the morning to start work, start my stuff, my side hustle, this podcasting stuff, and then have enough energy to get through my like 8-hour a day job, right? So there's some people that are out there that are putting 60 hours on top of their 40-hour work week. on their side hustle. There's some people that don't have a job and they're doing this 120 hours a week, like straight up. Those guys are working hard, and mad respect. I would love to be one of those, well, kind of be one of those guys. I have a wife, and to me, there's a certain amount of sacrifice that I'm willing to take. But anyway, my hustle is only for a set amount of time, so I'll only learn a set amount of stuff. But yeah, hopefully this whole documenting my stuff will really show like you can accomplish whatever I accomplish by doing it this way. Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I have. I don't even need to fill in time. I'm not home yet. We'll see. My question for you guys to comment below on the channel is, tell me about a time where you really were either humbled or had to take a step back and like keep yourself in check, or you made a bad mistake and you had to deal with that. I feel like that's kind of related to this episode. So let me know. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you are interested in following this journey, so you guys can know first, be aware, and not miss when I talk about what I'm up to next or the topics that I'm about to talk about. Hit the like button, it really helps. I'd appreciate it. That is if you like the video. If you don't like the video, you can just actually go ahead and dislike my video. I'm not trying to like make it big with this vlog or like gain a ton of exposure. I would love feedback from you guys, and if you guys are too busy to leave a comment and telling me like things I need to improve, go ahead and hit that dislike button so I know like, hey, what am I doing wrong? So like, dislike.